Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Makalesi, and thank you one more time for looking at my videos. Today, there's a lot of people who are really interested in the concept of immortality, gold, the quarantine, how to break it, exactly what people need to do in regards to trying to break quarantine, because the new cycle, this is the time that we can actually exit the cycle and some things that we need to do. So basically what you have to realize is just so I can go ahead and get started into this, is you must realize that immortality and gold's connected. So therefore, a lot of times when you would see societies like Egypt, for example, where there was abundance of gold, you know that it was connected with immortals because they had the science of alchemy, where they knew how to work with and make metal alchemy. So therefore, there's a procedure with them working with gold. So in comparison to someone, let's just say, who's more alien, where they don't have any gold in their culture, would be more something like Sumeria, where they were digging for gold, they didn't look for gold, because when you do metal alchemy, you know how to produce gold. So one of the reasons why they would produce gold is because they wanted to basically break quarantine. And immortals do this, and if you guys heard of what quarantine is, it's basically we're placed in a quarantine right now, and right now the quarantine is very, very heavy. However, in the fourth, we're in the third age, but as we go into the fourth age, there becomes a time when people can actually break quarantine. But the way that people are going to do it, they're going to have to do either one or two ways, and that's by going into monotonic gold, which is basically gold that you can consume into powder, then you consume it. Or you're going to have to get your body aligned with the solar energy, which is connected to the sun. And what do I mean by that is by connecting with solar energy, you kind of basically want to get your spiritual body back aligned with the sun. So therefore, you are back in tune with the cycles and the constellations and the stars. So that's why in ancient Egypt, which is also known as Kemet, they used to pray to the sun. They would do sun rituals all the time, and they had these rituals where they would do Kepeda, which is in the morning, and they would do these rituals to Kepeda. And then there was Ra, who is more like in the afternoon, and then they would do praises to Tamu, which is in the afternoon, and there was Amun, which is in midnight. By doing these sun rituals every day and 4 times a day, is what they're doing is they're connecting their pineal gland and their bodies attuned with the planets. So therefore, when its time was right, they can go ahead and exit quarantine. And basically what you're doing is you're keeping your body more connected with the sun, and therefore there's a point where you can go ahead and connect, because when you're connecting with solar energy, it gives you you can go ahead and access cosmic energy, but also it gives you time, the ability to travel and enter stargates. Because if you're not aligned with your body and you're trying to travel and your clock is off, it's going to be hard to interdimensionally or just basically go into portals or whatnot. So you have to align yourself with the sun, because that's basically the main reasons to it. So when you look at religions that were coming from ancient Egypt, like Christianity and Islam, that's the main reason why they would pray like 5 times a day, or where they would try to, what they were trying to do is basically maintain that connection to the sun, and that's why they would pray a certain amount of times. So if you really want to break quarantine, you kind of have to reinitiate those rituals again and do these sun rituals like they did in the past, and basically align your body, because right now we're definitely not aligned with the cosmos, which is breaking quarantine. It's basically what quarantine is. It connects to time. So when you want to break quarantine, you want to get yourself back in line with the time of the cosmos and basically break it. Now this is what I would call energy work and rituals, and align your body with it. However, a lot of people don't want to do that. The mortals more so want to do it the easier way, which is basically consuming monotonic gold. And like I said, monotonic gold is connected to gold that's turned into powder. Now the reason why I have to say this is not just taking any type of monotonic gold. There is obviously, you have to be a metal alchemist to do this. So there's a long procedure in doing it just right. So just taking monotonic gold is not going to help you break quarantine. It's not that easy. So metal alchemy is really important, because you have to align the gold and the process with this 12 constellations. You have to obviously get it connected to the earth element, because we're here on earth. It sometimes there's a process where you have to, depending on what you want to do, you have to actually have it buried for a year, which is just one step of the massive procedure. So that therefore the chemistry has to be exactly precise. You can't just take botanical and eat it and then you're going to escape it. So basically that's why being an immortal and having access to or knowing metal alchemy is important, because they would actually do this precise alchemy to this gold to make sure that they can consume it, and by doing it they're basically taking solar energy from the gold and being able to escape quarantine, just as someone would do it with, like, let's just say the sun rituals. So basically that's my quick videos. So then I know I had a question, someone asked me, well, how do I know if I'm going to escape quarantine? Well, you know, quarantine is still going to be, is going to be a lot easier. So, you know, you will, like, you know, people are probably wondering if the aliens are going to come back and, you know, we're going to see beings. Yes, that's going to happen, because quarantine is going to be lifted and it's going to not be as strict as it is now. So if you want to think of quarantine as that, yeah, that's definitely going to happen in the future. However, if you want to completely break the cycles of the earth and the different ages that we go to, which is completely breaking quarantine, you have to get in tune with solar energy and get your body realigned with it and start doing energy work, and, you know, get yourself prepared for that type of thing that means breaking quarantine. And if you're not doing that, then you're probably not going to break the cycle. And then also, you know, having immoral connections or having people who are metal alchemists and knows this procedure would go ahead and break quarantine as well. But if you're not doing any of that stuff, then you're probably going to stay here, which we're going to go through some major transformations in a couple of years, and you're just going to have to go along with those transformations, which is part of the cycle of life on earth. So that's my quick video. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you in my next.